welcome to the Comedy Central roast of Nelson Mandela. No, sorry. This is Skyrim and religion, specifically religious architecture. This is our table of contents for our PowerPoint. First, we're just going to introduce you to ourselves and some background about the game, and then we're going to jump right into the heavy, hard-hitting stuff, the guts of our paper, and our website, and our PowerPoint, and our video.
This is the research team, and we'll all be introducing ourselves. So,
yeah, I'm Dylan Edwards.
I'm Craig Supples. I'm Corey McMahon.
Jordan Griffin.
And this image, although it's not credited, it is from the lovely Jordan, who
made it in 20 minutes.
Yeah, built on that, made it on that first day class.
Memories.
Yeah.
Whole semester.
I know we've all gone over it, but since it's required, we will discuss a little bit about Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls franchise. So it's pretty old now. I think the first game was in, 20 years ago. I guess I don't know the exact date. But I know it's the 5th game in the series, and the first, I don't actually remember the order of the first two. It's like Daggerfall and Arena, but I don't remember which one came first. And then Morrowind, Oblivion, and then Skyrim. And the last three, like Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim, have all been the whole sandbox thing. They're very, very detailed and really huge game worlds. I know especially in like some of the old games, Morrowind took there was no fast travel period, unless you wanted to pay for it, and it was you couldn't travel from anywhere. You had to go to only the big cities had fast travel, so you had to walk everywhere. And there weren't any map markers, so you had to get real life directions from people. Anyway, so that's the franchise.
Skyrim is a game. It was released in 2011 to huge critical acclaim. Cited by several sources as 2011's Game of the Year. It's an open world action-adventure RPG, and when we say open world, it's kind of important in relation to our class especially, as you can go and do pretty much anything you want. There's no set kind of railway system where you have to do this thing other than the main quest line, but even then you don't have to do that. You're free to just do whatever you want.
Skyrim as a country, as opposed to being as a game, it's the northernmost province, or northernmost country province, I guess, in the continent of Tamriel, which is the overall Elder Scrolls land mass. You find yourself in the middle of civil war, based off of a war that has just ended and the peace treaty surrounding that. People are upset, so the Stormcloaks are rebelling against the peace treaty and the Empire, and the Imperials are trying to bring them back into the Empire, saying, you're a part of it, you need to follow the rules. So it's a very, war-torn country, there's a lot of strife going on. Yeah, so that kind of sets the tone for the world that you find yourself in.
Our claim is that the sacred architecture of Skyrim provides a basis for deeper immersion. By having an appreciation for the area and context in which you do a quest, you can have a deeper experience. Our three pieces of evidence are the Shrine of Azura, the Skyhaven Temple, and the Greybeard's Monastery. The Shrine of Azura is a shrine that honors Azura, who is a female Daedric prince who is associated with the Twilight period. It's pretty much all but abandoned. There's one devotee that you find there. To get to it, you have to climb a series of stairs and go up a mountain, which forces you to have a reverence for the shrine, because you're forced to look up to it and work your way to get there. It's like a small journey. By completing the quest associated with it, you can get a tool, Black Star, which is very useful in the game.
You feel walking through Skyhaven Temple, the Greybeard Monastery, and the Shrine to Azura.
I thought it really added a lot to the game. Going to the Shrine of Azura, you find out about the Dark Elves fleeing from Morrowind and everything, and you get there and you see this huge monument that they built, and obviously how much they care about it.
Shrine of Azura, it's neat seeing the statue and everything, but there wasn't really anything for me to do, so I just sort of left.
Okay, so our second piece of evidence is the Skyhaven Temple, which was built by the Blades a long time before the game Skyrim takes place. And it serves several purposes as far as religious architecture goes. It's a meeting house, and it's a place of reverence. There's Alvin's Wall, which is the focal point, you would say, of the temple, where it sort of tells the history and explains why the temple is there and sort of what the purpose is. And then as far as the actual architecture goes, the outside of the building, which we don't have a picture up here, but it's in the video, is modeled very closely after East Asian temples, and it's the architecture is very similar, almost identical, you could say. So that's the Skyhaven Temple.
Oh, and then Skyhaven Temple. Oh man. You know, seeing Alduin's Wall and hearing the whole story of the humans uprising against the dragons, it was big.
Let's see, Skyhaven Temple, I mean, it was cool and all, like, it looked cool, but there's nothing there really for me to fight, which, I mean, that's, like, really why I'm in Skyrim, you know, one of, like, fireball stuff.
The Greybeard's Monastery is located at High Hrothgar, and it's on one of the largest scalable mountains in Skyrim, or the tallest scalable mountains. What's important about it in relation to religion and religious architecture is that it's basically treated by most players as just a tutorial area. You go in, learn how to do your shout, get out, and go on to kill dragons. But if you take a closer look in relation to our claim, you really notice how everything there is pretty much, if it's not related to their life, like food, sleep, anything like that, it's not there. So it's if you really take the time to go and look, you can kind of even read their kind of like religious scriptures that they have next to their beds and stuff. So it really adds to the impression of the area.
And the monastery was cool. Like, even the stair part was nice. Like, just walking up and reading all the tablets on the way up and being able to look out over the vistas in Skyrim. And getting to the monastery was really cool. You know, the Greybeards are really, they're amazing. They live up there in their, like, monastery, and it's all, like, sparse, and they just devote their lives to this thing. It's beautiful.
In the monastery, I don't know, the stairs are, like, way too many. Like, it took way too long. I take a snack break halfway through. And I mean, I guess it was cool, like, seeing the Greybeards, like, learning extra spells, like, push people around and go fast, but...
So inclusion is basically the predominant view being that, like, most players, and I guess before this class I was included in, like, what you just talked about, or, like, I know when you go into the Greybeard Monastery and do that first little thing and they teach you to shout, there are hallways off to the sides, but I had never once gone down those hallways. I had gone straight out into the courtyard or whatever, just done all the shouting stuff and gotten out of there. So most people take that kind of predominant view where they just really play the game on a very surface level, where they see things, they don't appreciate it, they don't really think about it, they just look at it and then continue onwards. But if you really take the time to, like, think about, these guys are living on this mountain forever and really kind of trying to, I guess it's sort of like the worldview in a way, of, like, trying to get into, see things, like, for what they really are, and without, like, your own kind of, like, notions of what things are. It makes, like, a much grander experience. You feel like you really understand the people. So the same thing goes for, like, the architecture, I guess. Like, seeing, I mean, Shrine of Azura is massive and it was built by, like, all the Dark Elves or something after they fled from their homeland. And you get an idea for more of, like, the cultures and everything through the religious architecture, which makes the game itself a lot more rewarding and enjoyable.
Do the religious structures within Skyrim aid your understanding of the deeper world of Skyrim?
I mean, it provided more stuff for me to do, but it was sort of annoying. It felt like a grind, like just like going through, gotta go here, gotta go here, gotta go here. Sort of annoying, but...
Yeah, I felt like I could really, really relate to the characters more. Like, when you see all the conflicts and everyone has their own sides of religion and stuff, you see all these structures they build and how deeply they care about their beliefs, and it really kind of hits home. You feel for the people there.
As your player, did you experience any deeper connection with the world and lore of Skyrim as a result of your play and the religiosity involved in the game?
Religiosity? Like, is that a word we're going with here? Sure, I guess. I mean, I went there. I did stuff in the temples, but...
Oh, yeah, I mean, playing the game, it was, you felt a lot more, like, kind of in the world when the world was clearly so detailed and you knew so much about the different cultures that you find. You really felt like you were a lot more a part of it. It felt a lot less surfacey than whether... I don't know, if I had played it, if I had just run through throwing fireballs at everything, I feel like I wouldn't have really appreciated everything that was there to find.